Legal and finance, there's definitely some big ones out there that are already really helping with that. Review contracts, summarize case laws, and then draft responses for law firms. And I have friends that are lawyers, and they tell me that if they know that you've used AI, but you haven't done your due diligence to check because it still hallucinates some things, they'll immediately dismiss it. And so you need judges are really on top of like, hey, did you do your due diligence? Fine, you can use it to help you, but really check your work because you don't want to. Yeah.
There were, what was that funny case? It was probably a year or two ago when ChatGPT was really just on the scene. It was someone generating their whole sort of defense with claiming 2 hallucinated sort of cases that they were basing their conclusions off, which is really funny.
Yeah.
But now you've got, more of the deep research, which is also agentic in terms of going out and finding details and building and reasoning, that I think would probably do a much better job.
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, for financial services, you can have that fraud detection done in like milliseconds. The virtual investment advisors to help you with just the basic setup, and it can help you. It could probably follow you along your life plans, and immediately if there's anything dynamic that happens along the way, it can tell you, hey, let's move money over here or do this or that. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty powerful, and any kind of regulatory compliance agents as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then you look at other, you think of like retail and manufacturing. You're starting to have these smart sort of shopping assistants. So, like, all right, I'm looking for this type of backpack and this color for this budget. And then they can go to track all that down. And it can be a much more intuitive process, I guess, than having to dig again through sort of different websites or even through big, catalogs with some of the main shoppers. A few things like supply chain agents, being able to predict when there's stock outages or kind of reroute logistics based on specific disruptions. And I know there've been some interesting, I don't know if you've heard of the hyperspace protocol that's being, we had hypertext at the moment, but it's moving to hyperspace. And that'll affect things like logistics, which will be where everything is sort of coded in spatial dimensions. So, things will know, all right, there's an ambulance coming along, and, it can then send out its route and everything through this sort of hyperspace protocol. Cars can move out of the way, traffic lights can adjust. That's the next big sort of change in sort of internet architecture, which we've got to unpack in another podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, especially as self-driving cars become more and more prevalent. I mean, I'm seeing more and more of those on the road just in Scottsdale this weekend, and so many of those Waymo cars are around. And obviously now Robotaxi is taking over as well. And so we're going to see that happening, and it'll be interesting to see like when they move all in one ecosystem to be able to see that. It almost reminds me of the scene in iRobot where the self-driving cars are going at like 200 miles per hour because they're all like controlled from a high level network. So
yeah, that's amazing.
Can't wait. No more traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
No more driving, just relaxing.
Yeah.
Be good.
I'm curious, in video games, cheat codes let you skip months of grinding to unlock special abilities instantly. Have you ever wished for something similar for your software challenges? What if there's a way to instantly access 20 plus years of specialized expertise instead of developing it all internally? What if you could solve in weeks what might otherwise take months or years? Would you agree that most organizations face a steep learning curve when implementing new software solutions? At my company IIIMPACT, we serve as that cheat code for companies looking to transform complex software into intuitive experiences that users love and that drive real business results. Would it be valuable to explore? And how might this work for your specific situation? Visit impact.io for a free strategy session focused on your unique challenges.